keeping it in the realm of domestic abuse. Joe Budden recently spoke out against Diddy, also saying that it was egregious, saying it was unacceptable, denouncing his relationship with Diddy, saying that he doesn't support any of this. And then Tahiry, an ex-girlfriend of his, says, F out of here. Who? The irony. This is so triggering. I remember Joey throwing me down a flight of stairs, dragging me back into the house, and me having to talk him into letting me go for hours. This whole thing took me out. So hard to watch. So sorry for Cassie and every other woman who is currently going through it or has ever gone through it. It's tough. And then Joe Budden fired back. He said, the real Tahiry, you were lying. You a failed gold digger that has abused, targeted, and manipulated many men. Outside of me, you lack an identity, which is why you've tried desperately to attach yourself to me for over 15 years. The last time I saw you, I purchased a mattress from you and you were happy. You made the sale. You were fine then. There was the night after Starlet 6 years ago when you invited me inside your new place. You were fine then too. You were on my body your entire last stint on Love and Hip Hop and tried your best to disrespect my son's mother in the process. I had to ask producers to keep you away from us. Like the cancer you are. Yet you continue to slight my name online because it's your identity. I don't speak to you or about you because it's low vibrational. You a low-level Dykeman Khan woman that's been lying about you already know for ages. I pray you heal and move on one day. Hopefully this is our last exchange. Prayers to all the real victims. And then she replied to that. She said, Joe Budden, you can say whatever you want about me. Those that know me know. I'm not scared of you anymore. You can keep bullying and intimidating the rest. Those that know you and are around you also know the truth. Sad that they continue to enable your behavior. Your time is coming.
I didn't get to see that. I didn't hear her. I didn't see her reply. I only saw the first two joints. Yikes!
I want to preface this by saying a lot of people are saying this is only happening to black men, right? A lot of people are saying another tear down of the black man. And while I'm not here to celebrate black men being torn down, I do want y'all to keep something in perspective. When the Me Too movement happened, for some reason, around 2014, 2015, when the Me Too movement happened, a lot of white men went down. A lot of white men went down. You know, rightfully so. A lot of them rightfully so. Harvey Weinstein, he was out here exchanging. He was exchanging. Before the Me Too movement, he was a big producer. He could get you made in Hollywood. And then right after the Me Too movement, we found out he was exchanging roles for sex. You smash him, you get a role, got him out of here. Unethical, abuse of power, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? We almost got Johnny Depp out of here. We found out later on through trials, we found out that he was we found out he was innocent, or we believe now that he was innocent. But during the Me Too movement, Johnny Depp, get out of here. A gang of people, that ABC presenter, out of here. Cuomo, get out of here. Freaky,
Word, I forgot about that.
get out of here. White men got Me Too'd. The problem now is that hip hop, for some reason, evaded the Me Too movement. We know Trey Songz got, that R word allegations. We know Trey Songz has physical domestic abuse allegations. We keep going. We heard about Diddy's abusive Cassie, abusive Kim Porter. We've heard it before. We kept going. You know what I'm saying? So now, if it looks like this, it's because hip hop missed the Me Too train. And it might be coming for you. And Alive told us. If you go back 4 or 5 years ago when we first started this podcast, Alive said when the Me Too reckoning happens in hip hop, it's going to be ugly. Because your favorite rappers and legends They don't know how to act around women.
Mm.
Listen, don't let them
Shout
get the
outs to
digging.
Alive.
Don't let them get the digging to what happened in Freaknik.
Yep.
Don't let them get the digging to the 90s and the 80s. And hey, I will say this. Y'all better keep the same energy for white people too, though. Because I know Harvey Weinstein out here and strutting about. He better not be a producer again. And y'all better get Dan Schneider out of here too. But that don't give you the right to do the whataboutisms when we can see something here is a foul. And here I go destroying another potential relationship with a rapper. Joey Buttons has been accused of this before, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm about to say,
like this
like, this
isn't
isn't the only time.
the Esther Baxter story. He raps about it. He raps about how he got into a fight with her and he hemmed her down while she was pregnant and she lost the babies. There's a song about that. It's called Ordinary Love Ish. I believe it's in part 3 where he raps about Esther. It's there. It's there for you. Um, on Moon Music, where he's talking about his baby mother, he talks about throwing her against the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't new. And when he talks about Esther Baxter, there's a Breakfast Club um interview with Charlemagne where let me pull that up.
Baxter and the breakup
Can you
and
hear it?
what happened and she cheated on
It's
you.
low, but I can hear it.
Ordinary-ish,
Right.
part three.
Part three.
But now she's come forward and done an interview,
Yeah.
and she's released some pictures. One of them did make people sick because it was like a fetus in the toilet.
It made me sick too.
All right, is that a real picture? Is that
You
really
know,
like
that's wait. Is it really what?
is
Was
that
that
really
really
like her
her fetus?
fetus miscarried in the toilet?
That's what she sent it to me as.
Okay.
Now she's saying that you beat her, you strangled her, and you sat on her stomach and caused her to lose her baby.
We actually have that
Before I
audio.
have
Now it's a long time ago because you got dark skin Charlemagne.
Yo, I'm dead. I'm
we have the
crying.
audio.
We got into an argument and it just basically ended up choking me. So I couldn't breathe, slamming me up against the door, like in the closet door. He threw me on the floor, grabbed me by my wrist and sitting on my stomach for half an hour while I was 3 months pregnant. Went to the hospital where I found out that I
I
lost.
rush home. What are we gonna do? So I dragged out the bed. I definitely did. After a couple more lines of that arrogant talk.
By her feet, hair, arms.
No. My feet. A little light drag.
Little light drag.
Nothing. And I sat by the balcony and I just smoked a cigarette.
Nope, you dragged her off the bed, Joe, and you sat on her stomach and held her down so she could hear you. Come on.
No. And I
This
smoked.
lawyer
And I
over
Yo,
smoked a
Sean
cigarette
made me
and was
wild,
sitting there,
but
and
he.
I'm just chilling. So and now this bedroom, there's 2 entrances.
Listen to what Joe says.
So I thought way out towards the door that's locked. My computer's on the bed.
Uh-oh. That's never good.
She throws the computer, but I want to get to
And
the
as she's
stomach part.
walking, so we're in the closet,
Whoa.
and I got her pinned against the wall,
Right.
like, and I asked her if she's crazy about 3 to 4 times, but she's kicking and she's punching and she's swinging. So as I got her hemmed, I got to try to like back up off her, but she's still going, and her stamina is unbelievable, and
Right.
mine's isn't.
Right.
So
My
I put
man
her
is
on the
making a
ground.
story.
I don't
You
put her
heard?
on the
You
ground.
heard?
Pregnant woman.
You put her on the
You heard?
ground.
and Mine's isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So I put her on the ground. I don't throw her on the ground,
A pregnant woman.
but I'm much stronger than her.
All the more reason you're digging a deeper hole for
No,
yourself,
he
Joe.
placed her on the ground. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm just
He's
telling-
saying that she's going
Listen,
crazy. He's trying to...
at no point am I saying that I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
And at no point am I saying that.
Okay.
But I certainly haven't done what's being said. So I put her on the ground, and I do get on top of her. Do I sit on her stomach? No.
What do you sit on, Joe?
I would like to think that I sat on what she's got. Oh, it's my mom.
Yup,
Okay.
yup.
No.
Uh,
I got it. I got
What's
it. I got it.
obstruction in the court?
So listen,
What's the word? Disruption in the court.
Objection, Your Honor.
Oh,
Disruption in the court.
Forget it,
So, no,
Charlemagne.
Forget it, Charlemagne. Go ahead.
so Esther got huge breasts. So I'm thinking to me, I'm sitting right underneath her breasts?
Nah, good night.
Joe, you're not stupid.
Are they real breasts?
No, Joe. No.
Yeah, they're real.
Are they real? Okay.
They're real.
Underneath her breast.
So
is
that's
her
where I'm
stomach.
at. But listen,
Underneath her breast.
Wait. Did you sit on her stomach? No, I sat underneath her
Are
breath.
they real breasts?
No, Joe. No.
yeah, they're real.
Are they real? Okay.
They're real.
Underneath her breast.
So
is
that's
her
where I'm
stomach.
at. But listen,
Underneath her breast is her stomach.
But listen, no. Listen, if she's pregnant and we just left the doctor, I know where the baby is. Number one, and number two, I'm not sitting on her applying my 194 pounds on her stomach. So I have her arms, and all of the pressure is on my two legs. So I'm not sitting on her at all, really. But I have her
So
on
like
the ground.
straddling her.
So I have her on the ground.
Restraining her down, right?
And I'm saying to her, yo, shit.
I want y'all to know. I'm gonna change it here, but I want y'all to know that Esther Baxter lost the baby. After that,
Yes.
Esther Baxter lost the baby after Joe Budden, from his own mouth, from Mr. Joe Budden's own mouth, sat not on her stomach, below her breast.
Yo.
What is that?
That's abuse, yo. I mean, like, no matter how you look at it, it's abuse.
What is that exactly? Though, what is that? Oh, sorry. What is that considered? That below area. I'm gonna have fun here. I'm gonna have fun this time because I've never hit a woman in my life. I've never sat on a pregnant woman. There's no videos of me in a hotel area, so I can have these conversations, and I will. I talk about them. I will.
Nah, you got a point. We both can talk about it.
Yeah, and we will. Alive wanted this. He wanted the reckoning. He wanted us to respect women, and he wanted hip hop to get back in order. Maybe get in order. Maybe it was never in order. There's a deep misogyny here, and now people are going to be held accountable. They're going to be held accountable, and I got to be honest with you. I believe Tahiry now. I don't really need evidence anymore. Now, if I see a pattern and I see multiple people saying the same thing, as with Diddy, as with Joe Budden.
Jimmy has a good question.
You might be an abuser.
I can't even. For whatever reason, I can't put it on the stage, but you can put it on the stage.
Why didn't she press charges when that happened? Is there a statute of limitations for doing something like that? I don't know. That's a good question. We can investigate that. That is a good question. I know that Esther Baxter's now like out of the limelight. Like she doesn't really do anything anymore. She's low key into herself these days.
Yeah, I mean, when you go through that, I can only imagine. Back in the day, I had the biggest crush on Esther Baxter.
Didn't we
I
all?
was just so mad. I was just so mad when I heard about that stuff with Joe Budden.
Didn't we
You
all
did
love
that
Esther
to- You
Baxter?
did that to my baby.
How do you feel about? How do you feel about all this, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, yo, this, once again, I honestly, I feel like with Joe Budden, even replying to this, I feel like he was getting at Diddy for doing what he did. I feel like you're just as bad as Diddy for putting out this about this whole thing, knowing that there's a whole Esther Baxter situation.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you already have a history of abuse, and you're getting at somebody that is saying that she was abused as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say another thing. I think that I feel like my new thing is that I'm gonna always believe the victim in these situations, especially when it comes down to Black women. I'm always gonna be down to defend Black women because at the very least, I know there may be some validity to some of those things, and I feel like somebody needs to have that in their corner. And I'm with Tahiry on this, and I have reason to believe that that's just what it is with Budden. I do have something to say about the whole genre situation and how but my point, what I was going to say is that I'm not really a fan of when people say, that as if, not saying that you saying this. I feel like it's more so alive, and I wish he was on here so we could talk about it a little bit more. But this whole concept that it makes me feel like we're thinking that hip hop is the only genre that abuses women and has misogyny in it. Um, and I'm not saying that to say, oh, defend hip hop and all of its wrong evildoers and all these people. Like we need to get rid of these people as well. But I just feel like we be looking at it. A lot of us would look at it as if, and it's always in the media that hip hop is this dark, demented genre chock filled with misogyny, chock filled with murder and drug dealing and all types of other stuff, and it makes us look like we're, because we talk about it in rhyme format. Sometimes it's easy to follow through, but I'm almost certain that there are many rock songs, many pop songs that talk about, that talk about murder, that talk about abuse, and different things like that. So I just feel like music as a whole genre, music as a whole thing, is going to turn upside down. I feel like Diddy is the key to not just hip hop and R&B, although that's where it's going to start. We got to start questioning those other genres that are also messed up as well.
No,
They're all
listen,
messed up.
listen. You're absolutely correct. I would say domestic violence is a very American thing, but it's actually like a global thing. I say this about to look into perspective of how we treat women. Women weren't even allowed to vote until 1919, man. The 1919 was only 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at some of the consent ages of girls, of people, just in general, people, it's like 14, 15, 16. But why is that? Because society was marrying off little girls to men at 14, 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Historically, throughout the globe, we've been like a patriarchal kind. Like the human race has been patriarchal. There's really few spots in between where like it's matriarchal, but it's for the most part there's a patriarchy and then it becomes toxic. And it's not just American, but it is American. Do not get it twisted. They abuse women in rock. They abuse women in country. They abuse women in every genre because men abuse women.
Yeah.
Police officers abuse women. That's a real stat. Look it up. Go on Google and write police officers and domestic violence, and you'll see that police officers have a higher propensity to commit domestic violence than other occupations. That's not a shot at all police officers. I'm just saying to tell you domestic violence is a real issue that we have in this world that transcends cultures and nations. You go to Latin America, you go to the Caribbean, femicide is still a thing. They still kill women over there. Femicide here is a thing. You know, we talked about the girl in Brooklyn. She denied some advances. She got killed.
Yeah.
Recently, somebody just got convicted of 15 years for shooting a girl who denied his advances in New York. Outside of New York. Go to Latin America. Go to the Caribbean. Women get abused. Go to Europe. Go to Europe. They have a rich history of abusing women.
Yeah.
It's there. But it's not just them. It's not just them. You go to the Arab community to this very day. There are countries in the Arab community where women can't read, where women are forbidden to drive cars. In Saudi Arabia, they just let women drive cars. You think they're not hitting women in those countries? Martin is right. Martin is 100% correct. Do not act like this is just hip hop. This is a human race issue. But at the same time, get these guys out of here.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's one. I feel like Kano major points and over. I agree with you, and I'm not saying oh, don't do that to Diddy. Like, I'm not trying to shed away light from Diddy or whatever the case may be, because he, at the end of the day, like he did that. You know what I'm saying? He did that. I just want to let you know there's other people that that are of a different races that probably is doing the same thing that Diddy did. Beat up somebody in a hotel or in front of a house, and there's this footage, and they're paying it off, paying these people off to make sure that video stays hidden. Like, it's a real thing, um, and it's not a black thing. It's not a hip hop thing. It's a power trip thing. It's a women is a lesser than thing, and we need to get ourselves out of that mindset altogether, as a group. But I say all that to say, um, Joey, man, like I feel like it's going to be a wave of of stuff like that with hip hop. Like, there's gonna, like, I feel like women are gonna feel very empowered. Like you said, like, this Me Too movement was skipped over into hip hop. Now it's gonna be in hip hop. It may not even be called the Me Too movement. They're gonna call it a different kind of movement, but it's gonna hit. And Joey's gonna
Yeah.
be on that.
There's some names that you got to now look at. Fab, right? The whole thing with
I was
his.
about to say that. Yep.
You definitely got to look at Trey Songz. We're gonna have to talk about Dr. Dre at some point.
He ain't getting away with that, man. I'm telling
You got,
you.
I mean, Michelet said some crazy things over there about Dre. And then, maybe we should also celebrate the men that don't have any of this.
Much as
Shout
I
out to
don't
J.
like,
Cole.
as much as I don't like Lil Uzi Vert, I hear that he really be treating what's that girl name, JT,
JT,
really
yeah.
well.
And that's a beautiful thing, man. And
That's a
let's
beautiful
celebrate that
relationship.
too.
Not a fan of his music, but I'm a fan of that man taking care of his woman.
That's a beautiful thing. Celebrate that.
J. Cole, 100%. Now, imagine if Kendrick really, if Drake was telling the truth and Kendrick was really out here wilding out on his bride to be, he on that list too.
That would be crazy. Now, I do think
That would be
punishment
so
should fit the
sad.
crime. I think Diddy is an exceptional monster. I think he's diabolical and he's nefarious. And he's ran an empire on abuse. Now, if you beat your spouse every now and then, you should still be punished. And as a culture, we should still handle you accordingly. But I do not think that you should be held at the same level as a person as demonic as Diddy. Now, some people ain't gonna like that statement. I know. Because
Here's
for
the
some
thing,
people,
I
the
feel
one
like,
time you do it is enough.
here's the thing, and I feel like in Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers, he spoke about therapy, he spoke about all these different things. And I've actually, well, let me not even talk about that. There's actually somebody that I know whose family, like, it was an abusive family. They became Christians. First the wife, and she was still getting, after she became a Christian, she was still getting hurt, and then the husband, but then I guess the wife, somehow, some way, got to him, and realized the error of his ways. He became a Christian as well, and they're one of the happiest couples that I know.
No, listen, penance is real. You should be able to repent. Like,
And that's a real thing. Like, those people can change. What Diddy did was not that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
that apology was not that.
Right.
It
And I'm not
was,
saying that's the
change
case for
behavior was
Joe.
not that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that's the case for Joe. We need more information. But I'm
Right.
saying you can't crucify everybody across the board the same way. But as a society, we don't know how to not do that either.